Yo, how's it going, everyone? Um, Thought to upload a replay today, two actually, with some commentary this time, just to hear if it, actually works, is actually fun to do, stuff like that. Um, Let me just tab out like super quick, close my recording program. Thank you. All right, there we go. So yeah, decided to do some recording with commentary instead of just uploading some boring pull-down replays. Because I have two games. I was grinding the Patton lately to get the XM69 hacker because I've heard like tons of good things about it, and I just wanted to give a little bit of like my thoughts on how I think where I do like positioning and stuff like that. So I might actually like pause the recording here and there just to kind of like take my time to explain certain things and stuff like that. Alright, so what are we doing here? We are playing middle in Proco. My favorite position from this spawn. By the way, I blew up the house with HE in the beginning. Highly recommend doing that because it makes it easier to shoot people on the hill. But yeah, we're playing middle. And if you look at the matchup, there is an EBR. And there's two RD pieces. So you might be thinking, oh, middle and Proco, we're just gonna get blasted. That is why we don't peek middle. So if you don't peek middle, you usually don't get spotted here. You see that the people on the hill are very far outside of my view range, so they are not going to spot me. And this object 260 tried peeking middle, and he's getting blasted. But I'm not, so that's fine. A very big difference here is that their EBR hasn't been spotted yet, but ours is doing, the average EBR thing. And he is just racing through middle here, next to the hill. And it is just... okay. I'm gonna let him live his life, he can do whatever the hell he wants. I told myself I won't pick middle, but there's a Death Star there, you have to shoot the free bolt tanks in the current meta. Their EVR gets outspotted. He was an E1, like a super greedy push as well. I don't know how he got spotted, to be honest, but he did, and he's dead. This is huge for our EBR. He could play 1-2 so easily right now, but he's going hill, so all power to him. So yeah, I already did like a take of this, but then I noticed that I hadn't added my microphone to the audio settings. So I was just kind of sitting there talking to myself, which was kind of sad. Anyway, I have a platoon mate with me. He decided to go hill in a 430U. If I go hill on this spawn, I don't like sitting in the back there. If I go hill, I always push forward to where the EBR is now, in that like dip area. And I try getting some spotting on the people in front of me. But for that to work, you need somebody on mid, to be able to shoot them. Here, we're waiting for the I-7 to give us a good angle. I would tell you that I aimed for the fuel tank there, but honestly with this gun, you just have to aim for center mass. Sometimes, because the Patton gun, I played a lot with it. It's really good, like it's very snappy and stuff, but the accuracy I found is super lacking. Sorry, I have like hiccups right now, so but actually not. I should not record this now, but whatever. But yeah, not a lot of positioning stuff going on here, but this game is still very interesting. My CS63 has taken it upon himself to be our light tank. And he's being supported by an IS-7 and an E3 who are currently spotted because they got blasted by RD. And here, hashtag Patton gun moment. I'm just shooting at the I-7. I'm supporting my platoon mate. He decides to push aggressively in front. It's still going to be a little bit troublesome for him to do anything because his tank doesn't have any gun depression. And, you sometimes need gun depression. Sometimes. Get a free shot on the Death Star. At this point, my EVR is also repositioned to 1-2, and I was kind of thinking to myself, okay, well, this game is pretty over. So you'll see me take some really aggressive peeks right here. Or well, really aggressive. Regular peeks. I get shot by A7 here, and you'll see that I don't really care, because at this point in time, I'm just thinking to myself, it's GG. I get shot from the Patton in A6, which I just... again, I'm tapping a moment right there. But yeah, the Patton is in A6, which is, you know, really, really good information. My buddy is spotting these people on hill. My EBR died at some point. It was so fast that I didn't even pay attention to it, but yeah, he died. Which sucks, because it's still 5-5. Like, the game is kind of over at this point. My CS light tank dies. I'm picking middle aggressively because it's kind of my job. If people are spotting the people in mid and they're falling back, I need to punish them. To make it kind of like inefficient for them to just, you know, sit on the mid ridge and shoot my allies. My platoon mate tries to fall back because I think he noticed that that push was maybe a little bit too much. And look at the score. It's 7-8 currently, and we're only up like 1500 HP. I mean, we're up like over 5000, I think. So yeah, at this point in time, I'm thinking to myself, I need to pick up some kills. So I want to be with my buddy to deny the hill push. But I'm also thinking to myself, I need to remove some of these people in mid. So I drive to the left here, so that I'm out of render distance of the people on hill, so that I can kind of peek this freely. The Patton has moved in again from A6, which I don't know why, but okay. And there's a ton of one-shots here. Already finished off one of them, which is huge. A lot of heat shell here. I plop it into the Patton, which is great. I'm the god of intuition, by the way. Like, I almost want to put on like a counter where I count the amount of times I use intuition. It's going to be crazy. So here again, intuition. Switching shells on this tank is highly recommended because your APCR is super fast speed, so it's really comfortable to shoot at lightly armored targets and at long range. My I7 shoots their I7. I don't know how he made that shot. It was kind of crazy. But at this point, I am really comfy. Because if I just pause it here for a second. Oops. If I just pause it here for a second, you'll see me doing this in the other replay as well, is that when I'm in a moment where there is no enemies inside of my view range, I can kind of do whatever I want. I can just sit here and shoot as much as I want, and I probably will not get spotted. So I can take really nice angles and kind of not get punished for it at all. I can just use people around me to spot for me, and then just take full advantage of it and get the best angles that I possibly can. So yeah, the CS63 on the enemy team was actually a pretty good player when I checked his profile after this game. But he was just kind of like sitting here, so I don't really know. He can't really run away, but yeah. Anyway, my buddy decides to push up again and keep these people spotted. So I'm trying to see if I can help him there. Already gets outspotted as well, which is really nice. And there has been a 50B spotted, or unspotted, for those of you who've paid attention. And he's just been sitting in A3 the entire game. So, good job. I put some free shots into him, and at this point, I have too many targets to shoot. I can shoot the 50B, I can shoot the Batchat, I can shoot the IS-7, and they overpush my friend, and this is so bad, because... Patton gun moment. Tell me that was bad aimed, if it was badly aimed, like honestly. I put some more shots over there, but I cannot have the opportunity to punish them pushing hill currently, which is super bad. Another Patton gun moment, aim for the turret, hit the hole. You know, what can you do? And here... Also, super good example of a Patton gun here, because it is not super accurate, but you can snap shots really easy. Well, the 50B snipes me at like 445 meters range. Uh, sure. That did not happen to me when I was grinding the 50B, but whatever. My Leo. This is the second time I watched this replay, and I still missed the moment when he went into the river. He got rushed by the I-7 on the batch head. Surprise, surprise. I'm trying to focus out the 50B, because if autoloaders have a lot of HP in the late game, they are super dangerous. Also, I don't know if you've noticed, I've ran out of APCR. But I haven't noticed in the replay currently. So I was like, oh, why did a shot just only track him? I'm just, you know, why didn't it pen? It's because you're shooting heat, bro. So yeah, that was kind of unfortunate. Um, so I'm also not adjusting for the shell velocity, because the shell velocity on the heat is 1100 and this is 1400. So my shots are gonna look a little bit wonky. Eventually I'll realize. So yeah. I'm just praying that Steve here stays alive in front of me so that I can get another couple of free shots. He pens the CS, but the CS just eventually grows the cojones to overpush him. I have a Death Star on the hill. It's a bomb tank at elite level 6, so I have not a lot of confidence in him. And I still have RD. So yeah. Kind of up to me. I think the CS is gonna push down 1-2 line to kill my RD and kind of like outplay me from this push location right here, because then he can just, you know, outspot me and shoot me in the ass. So I was thinking I'm gonna maybe play this push line to see if I can sit still and outspot him or something. And there he is. I auto aim because man, I love auto aiming. It's so good. And totally not punished for auto aiming. Insane. My 261 presses the whatever button it is to say that his ammunition is empty. I ping frantically in the middle of nowhere. I don't know what I was trying to incentivize with that. But my platoon mate writes, maybe try spot, and he types, I think it's F5 for affirmative. Yeah, well, whatever. He goes and spots 1-2 line in a 261, which is what he should do. He should still try and make himself useful. So here, I'm kind of iffy. I don't know where this 50B is. I saw him go to A6. Caught out by the batchet. I'm super scared right now. I wanna push this guy, but I hear an explosion. From my left, I think it was? Clap the batchet. Best peak in the history of World of Tanks. I'm still kind of uncertain of where their 50B is. I was kind of thinking he was like in A6 or something. Or in like D1, like I'm really unsure. So I want to be really safe right here, because I do not want to take another shot. I want to have a little bit HP left. Here I was thinking maybe I should try to push out this I-7 with my Death Star, but 50B gets spotted by my RD. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. I have noticed that I'm shooting heat right here, so I'm kind of trying to lead the shot properly. I think it was led properly, it was just that my gun went a little bit high here. And this shot is so massive. Oh, praise the Lord. If I would have missed that and he would have clipped my RD, it would have been a massive pain in the ass to try and find him later. And here, I'm quite confident. You won't see that in my aim here, but I was kind of shaking, so, you know, excuse the couple of next shots here. This one pens. His upper plate was kind of like angled like backwards. So I was thinking like, ah, yeah, okay, I have good heat pen and stuff like that. So that one bounces. I should maybe up him like a little bit up to the left. He fires, and this is super painful. I was shaking so much. I wanted to have like a super clear shot, and then no, he fires and he doesn't high roll. Luckily, and we pull it off. Absolutely amazing. I think I had like one blind shot here, so I did like 8.3k damage. I'll maybe put up like the post-game stats or whatever, with some added magic. But yeah, game got absolutely saved by this Object 261. Actually running out of ammo and driving forward and not just being like, oh, I'm an RDP, so I'm gonna just sit in K1 and just see what my team does. So super, super, super nice from him. I still think that the Death Star could have pulled it off, just, driving off up here and just derping this guy in the back, but still. So yeah, really good game. And I have another one, so stay tuned. All right, second replay. This is actually my third take doing this. There was some stuff that happened before with the second take and the first take. Didn't have any audio, so I had to do a third take, but it's fine. We're playing on Corellia, still in the pattern, as the same as the last replay. But it's a tier 11 matchup. And in a tier 11 matchup, well, in any matchup, pretty much, it's really important to take a look at the vehicles that you're fighting against, which is, step number one when you load into a battle, always take a look at the enemy matchup. And in this matchup, there are 3 KR1s. And KR1 players are special. They play in a very unique way, let's say, from both my team and the enemy team. I won't spoil too much, but yeah. I get huge intel here because I spot one of their KR1s. 2 of them, in fact. But I also get spotted by the DPP. Which leads to me getting shot here, which, sucks, but whatever. But I spot 2 KR1s, a 50B, a DBV, and Steve is going here as well. And this is really, really big. It gives me so much information. And at this moment in time, I am absolutely screaming to my platoon mate here. We have to get out of here. We have to move, because if the KR1 players do what KR1 players do best, they are going to push this like super aggressively, or they're just going to be super annoying. So I want to have a little bit of distance between me and them. I didn't think I was going to get spotted there, but yeah. Here was also yelling like, oh my god, he's double tracked, double tracked, double tracked, and then he uses a repair kit to get back around the corner, which was kind of sad, but oh well. But yeah. We won south, and which is, great. Good positional strength here. Here, I'm repositioning because I want to keep my ally alive. Another Patton gun moment there. Was kind of an heavy shot at long distance, but oh well. I really want to keep my object alive here because he's in a pretty good location to be able to spot the middle. Because if he goes into some bush location here, maybe he can like spot the DBV, maybe some tank destroyers in base. I'm gonna pause the replay quite soon. Just a second, right here. And if we just take a look at the hit log here, before it kind of like disappears, you'll see that my T-57 Heavy died, and my KR1 died as well. So if we put on, our thinking caps and kind of like analyze the situation here on what happened, it's kind of interesting. So the KR1 and T-57 Heavy pushed in front, and let's just take a look at the history of the situation here. So my KR1 writes, it's 5v2. Was 6v2 with me. Push, you effing spineless cowards. Affirmative. And then he died. So, what happened here? This is kind of like just a pro gamer tip for when you play Corellia yourself. Size of the map here a little bit. When you win this southern part, from either spawn, it doesn't really matter, and you get the hill, well, thumbs up, great, good job, you can now shoot stuff in the middle, whatever. But then people tend to become quite restless if, the enemies aren't just sitting on this corner getting farmed for free. So what they tend to do is try to push. Now, I just need to mention that I see so many tomatoes and like new players do this. Um, if you want to get tomato training, by the way, hit me up. Send you a link to the Discord where we have tomato training and stuff like that. Super fun. But yeah, pushing this southern gap right here is an absolute death sentence because people are thinking, oh wow, guys, it's only a T803 and a mouse over here. It's not that dangerous, right? It's usually not the people in front of you that are the biggest issue right here. It's usually the people shooting and using these people as just like, spawning pinatas, which is kind of what I'm doing right here as well. I'm just using my E3 and my T803 here, who are kind of outpositioned here, but they are still very useful to, extend vision forwards so that I can shoot the heavy tanks that they spot. But if you take a look at the enemy team list here, this like very common knowledge, but in case you didn't know, is these light bulbs. They tell you if somebody has never been spotted, has been spotted but is currently not visible, and has been spotted and is currently visible. And if we just take a gander at the enemy team list right here, we will see that there's an STRV and a Jagdpanzer that have never been spotted, and a VZTD that has recently been spotted, and he's just sitting in the cap. Like, he just drove like 10 meters out of spawn, and he's just been sitting there. Fun fact, kind of like a small spoiler, this STRV did 7k damage. Uh, and he has just been sitting in K2 the entire time, and he's just been blasting all of these people trying to drive through here. So yeah, massive overconfidence from the KR1 player. The best thing to do here is just nothing, because pushing this is complete suicide. And calculating like a push like this with just random teammates, you cannot. It's just unrealistic, pretty much. Like, he said that this was a 6v2. Well, this guy was on the hill. The object 430 was just like taking a bath here in a swamp. IS-7 is kind of like cool down in the back. One of them is an STRV. Like, it's just I don't think this is the 6v2 you were imagining. And also, it isn't a 6v2, it's a 6v1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's pretty much even. So yeah. And the same goes for if you're trying to push north, exactly the same situation. You're gonna have tank destroyers like sitting back here just farming people that try to push through. It's not advantageous at all. But yeah. Anyway, the KR1s are doing the exact same thing as my allied KR1 here, so that was kind of funny. They're kind of losing their patience, right? Because they're top tier heavy tanks, they always want to push in front, and this is something that you can use to your advantage quite often. Because World of Tanks players lose their patience so easily. And this is kind of, I don't know why. Like, I'm not a psychologist or anything, but I think people are just used to like fast-paced games in this day and age, and they just want to, go forward, they want to win, they want to do a lot of damage, and if you know that people are kind of, acting this way, then you can farm a lot of damage for free, which is kind of what we're doing now. We're just, sitting in the bush, we're using our E3 as a light tank, so which is, Gucci. My I7 gets blasted by Artie down south, and suddenly this 6v2 is not looking so good here anymore. Also, if you're driving through here, you can get absolutely bombed by Artie pieces. But one person on my team is actually pretty smart, and it's my SCRV driving back here because he knows that the enemies are more than two, and they're probably going to repush this. So he's actually sitting in a very, very smart location right now because he wants to counter this push that they are going to make. Also here, just again, I'm just being patient, and they just keep pushing into me. all of these shots are complete RNG if they hit or not, because of, you know, the distance, the gun accuracy, the KR1 armor layout. So I penned 2 shots here for free. I didn't even get spotted. And those pens are just are just complete luck. So yeah. And here the KR1s are trading super inefficiently against my E3. And again, I was yelling against my platoon mate. 50B lost his patience, thought he could push mid without controlling north. Gets absolutely blasted. I get a nice fire as well. I was aiming like for the rear drive wheel to keep him tracked, but you know, engine fires happen. Their Jagdpanzer is pushing my E3 in C4. Interesting. Jägeru push right here. So yeah. Also, I just wanted to mention, I was talking in the last replay about like keeping enemies like outside of my view range to kind of do whatever I want without getting spotted. You'll see that I was sitting just right here to just shoot everything. Like I was just sitting here to shoot the enemy 50B over here without really worrying about people spotting me. That's because everybody was outside of my view range. But now that the Jagdpanzer has zone in front, he's inside of my view range, so this is the moment where I want to use a double push. And if you can play to this, like keeping the distance between you and the enemies, like this, the game's gonna be so much easier for you. Here, the front police tank gets spotted, put one in his bum right there. I was hoping that he was gonna get spotted for longer, but I guess my reaction was just super bad. So here I want to fall back a little bit further, again keeping people outside of my view range. I'm scared that the SCRV was going to sit on this corner down south to spot me. He didn't, so that's good. And right now I want to position myself to shoot this Jagdpanzer, but I also, again, it's kind of, the roles have kind of reversed right now. I am expecting the enemies to push through this gap. So what I'm doing right here is I'm pinging my STRV so that I will support him. And I'm kind of setting up a trap right here. And this is something that I love doing. And I think that you should do it, or well, try to do it as well, a little bit more often. Is that if I was sitting here, I would maybe spot people coming around this corner. And then I would shoot, I would damage them once, and they would go back. So advantageous trade, but kind of an inferior situation. Because what I want to happen is that this STRV and this DBV, I want to lure them around this corner here, make them engage my STRV, then pop out and start blasting them. And then there is no way for them to run anywhere where they can escape safely. And then I get to kill their entire vehicle, which is, you know, 10 times better than just getting one shot over here. But I did not realize that my ST2 was still alive, so I was like, oh shit, I should probably help this guy out. I pick up the STRV, my ST2 gets DPV'd, which is kind of unfortunate. And my E3 dies, and my T803 dies, so the game kind of changed from this like, okay, we're kind of like holding out to this, okay, we're losing situation. But I'm still fairly confident. I have a lot of HP, my platoon mate still is full HP, the Hirschkaffer is still quite healthy, the STRV is still quite healthy, so we're still kind of like hanging on quite well. And there's no like enemy light tanks in play, because that would just be completely detrimental right now. I want to push over here, because again, KR1s, they love holding W, so I'm just waiting for them to push that button, which they do. This guy gets absolutely blasted. I just fired there. I already knew he was dead. I just shot because, you know, I wanted to double tap him in case, I don't know, he came back as a tank zombie or whatever. Again, I am yelling into my microphone. Push, 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 push. This I7 is completely by himself. He's just gonna be hold down. He's just gonna be perma-spotting my entire team. I don't really care about missing this. I just want to get behind him, because I want to DPM the bejesus out of him. he can either shoot my friends or he can shoot me. Get a little bit of a better angle there because I was shooting, you know, full heat at him. My ally gets retracked by Artie, and the KR1 plops up behind him. I am absolutely terrified right now because I'm downhill from a KR1, which is not a very good position to be in. He pants me once. I want to get out of this situation here. I get RT'd, I'm down to a one-shot. I say lovely sentences to this artillery piece right now. I totally didn't report him or anything. No, I didn't do that, but still. It was very annoying. My Hirschgaffer pushes forward, which was kind of questionable. Their Artie has driven forward. Absolutely unbelievable. He fires, he doesn't move because he's a square. So I blind shoot him here. And I'm kind of scared of this KR1 right now. I think I can get a cheap shot in here. I'm shooting heat at his upper plate. Bounces. Amazing Patton armor. Huge. I'm still kind of scared of him just tapping me with a small ram and killing me. But he doesn't. He falls back. The WZ gets spotted out, and my Artie is engaging a T803. Here I'm just trying to get in as many shots as possible. Because I'm thinking every shot I pen now is a shot I do not have to pen later. And playing on DPM is super important. We see that he fires a heat shell because of the little fireball when the shell impacts. And I'm not that worried about that VZ in front of me. I'm honestly just worried about the T803. The T803 finds my Artie, he pens him once. And my Artie rams himself to death on the T803. Oh my god. Alright, I'll just pause it here for like 2 seconds. First, I just want to applause the 261. Again, an Object 261 completely carrying me in the endgame. So that was kind of funny. Kudos to that guy. Because him ramming the T803 to death was so good. Because the T803 has, 340 heat pen as well. So he could just blast me through my turrets, and he's super annoying hold down. He has the high ground. It would be an absolute shitfest to try and fight him. And also here, I was shooting heat shells here for exactly this reason, because these cheeks on the VZ are super weak to heat rounds. So you see that it's not even yellow, it's just a complete green pen marker here because of this. So I shoot him once, he's down to one shot. All of the shots that I got into him earlier are now paying off, because now he's just a one tap away, which is a massive advantage for me because I have a turret and he doesn't. So always fun. As a 1v1 scenario here, I love these types of situations because you can actually use like your game knowledge, you can play to your natural intuition. My teammates write such nice things in chat, and both of them comment me as well. So I was like, oh damn, now I really have to win this game. So what are we doing? We're not sitting still in one location. We have mobility, we have to use it. The way I was thinking here was that I was thinking that he was gonna just keep sitting here, maybe like hold an angle or something behind this rock, but he didn't. Then the second thing I was thinking is what people usually do is that if they peek a corner and they don't spot you at your previous location, they will usually go check it out. This might be because I've played Sniper Elite 3 a lot. I don't know if this is like an actual like psychology test, but this is, for me at least, this is usually what happens. So right now I want to check the way he would take to get to my previous location. Then I'm like, okay, well, he's not there. He wouldn't have gone to middle, obviously. I want to peek my previous location where I was last spotted. Maybe he's sitting there. And he wasn't. So now I'm kind of scared, because he could kind of be anywhere, even though he's pretty slow. So is he in front of me? Is he still over there? Did he go in the dip where I was? I'm not really sure. So very spooked. I think he's gonna come from there, but he's behind me and we clap him. So just like analyzing what happened here. I was sitting here. He was sitting behind this rock. So what I think he did is that he reversed like all the way here out of my old sightline, went behind this little hill right here, drove up here, and then tried to go up here to get the high ground. But yeah, he was in a super disadvantageous position. I have really good pen. As I said, my gun handling is really good. The accuracy didn't really matter here. I was shooting, heat shells at his side. It was GG. So yeah, was a super awesome game. This is what I had to do to get out of a 10 loss streak. I ended this session with like a 30% win rate or something, so it was super satisfying to end the evening with like a top gun, a high caliber with like 8 point. I think this was like 8.2k damage or something. I'll again just put up the post game stats here. But yeah, this was like the first commentary video. I hope you kind of like got something out of it. It was kind of fun for me to test this as well. Just like tweaking around with some audio settings and stuff like that. I want to keep making more of this instead of just uploading like singular replays. I did it, was fun, but maybe it's a little bit boring. And I also just want to give my thoughts on everything that is happening, the ways that I'm kind of like adapting to the situation. I'm naturally quite a passive player, so there's going to be a lot of situations where you kind of like see me playing a little bit behind my allies if I don't have anything else to do. Of course, like, being aggressive, picking up lots of damage is very important. But again, like luring people into traps and stuff like that is, I just find very fun. Um, so yeah, let me know what you thought about this, if there's anything that I could do better. There's a lot I can improve still, but yeah. All around about the pattern, it's really good. I got a hacker as well. It's probably one of my favorite tier 11s at this point. So yeah. All right, I'll see you guys later.